No. Good afternoon, Commissioners. We're going to call the Justice and Public Safety Commission meeting to order. The second item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Is there support? It's been moved and supported. Please vote on your iPad.
Commissioner Majek.
The agenda is unanimously adopted. Item number 4 is the approval of the minutes for the June 8th, 2017 meeting. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Lucido, supported by Brown. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor, please vote on your iPad. The minutes are approved. Item number 5 is public participation. Are there any member of the public who wish to address the committee?
Director of Human Resources and Labor Relations. I just want to take the opportunity to share with the board, if you haven't heard yet. How's that? I just wanted to share with the board, if you haven't heard yet, I'll be leaving the county at the end of July. I'm taking a similar position with Chesterfield Township. So it's been great working. Many of you I've worked with for a very long time. Some of you are brand new and just got to meet you, in January of this year. So I wanted to make sure this was approved by Chesterfield Township's board on Monday evening. So I want to take an opportunity and share that with the board. I don't know, Bob, if you have an update from the executive's office as to how they're going to fill or when they're going to fill, but I'll be gone at the end of the month. If anybody has anything they need, or I'll be around in a very short, drive away. If you have something you need to follow up with me on, or try to say, hey, you remember what we did here or how we did that, I'll be available and willing to help out as much as I can, even after I'm gone. So it's been an interesting ride. It's been a long time, but I'm anxious to be doing something a little bit different somewhere else. So it'll be a good opportunity. So. I don't know, it's a vacation over there. They've got plenty of their own issues. So, yeah. So I just wanted to let everybody know that. So thank you.
Hold on for a second.
Wait. We're going to go in order. Commissioners, Chair Smith.
We can't ask questions.
We're not.
He's just going to make a quick comment.
But thanks, Eric. Listen, I just wanted to congratulate you and tell you you're going to be missed around here. We're happy that you're going to be so close and helping Chesterfield out, and I know that the staff knows where you are, and we'll be able to reach out for any help that we might need. So congratulations on that. And I just will, expanding on what you had mentioned, the executive's office will be putting forth Karen Bethanti at this point as interim, maybe while they do some kind of search, or maybe I'm not really sure, but I have a good feeling, and I'm hoping that that's going to be where they go with this in the long term. I think she would be a great replacement for you, but
27 years here for me, and I'm committed to the organization. So any help anybody needs while I'm gone, I'm happy to do what I can. So
and thanks. Good.
I know they're looking for a deputy clerk.
Thank you. Whoa! Come on. Thank you for coming to the meeting and sharing that good news with us.
Yeah.
Good news for you, bad news for us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other members of the public who wish to address the committee? Seeing none, we'll close public participation and move to item number 6, which is a presentation by Gateway to Glory Ministry. Just by way of a brief background, Gateway to Glory was one of the organizations that we honored during our volunteers night, and I spoke with them, and they agreed to come today to just give us a brief presentation on what they do and about their story and history. And we have Robin and Steve Malek.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Thank you for being here. Thank you.
We just have a few things that we'd like to pass out, business cards and brochures, while my husband gets started. No, but I'm always willing to take some.
They keep running.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Kathy, and good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for having us. It's a privilege and an honor to be here this afternoon. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to California for a business venture. And in California, we discovered that drugs were really cheap. And both of us got to the point where we were $300 a day mainline users. We both contracted hepatitis C. We lost custody of our 7-year-old daughter. I went to prison and my wife became homeless. And life as we knew it was a nightmare. While I was in prison, I had a visitation, I believe, from our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And he knocked on my heart's door, and I responded and invited Jesus into my heart and surrendered my life and my will to him. That was 20 years ago. Today, we're both 19 years clean and sober. We're both completely healed of hepatitis C. We got a great relationship with the daughter that we lost custody of and 2 beautiful little grandbabies by her. And as God would have it, he took this ex-offender, I did say ex-offender, not sex offender, and a former drug addict and a convicted felon up until 4 days ago. My felony was expunged in California, which I'm pleased to announce. And he took my wife and I and saw fit to make us the chaplains of Macomb County Jail, where I oversee the men's department, and my wife oversees the women's. But we started an aftercare program because we were burdened. I went into the jail 14 years ago as a volunteer to just do one-on-one ministry with the men, and I had heard a need from one of the men that said he had nowhere to go when he was leaving, and it really burdened my heart, and because I did have help when I was released, that we needed to help these men upon their release and to do what we could to reduce recidivism, help them get restored back to society, and best of all, reunited with their families. And so we started an aftercare program, and it was called Gateway to Glory, and it was to house the men as they came out, but it's very structured. You know, we have them doing something at least 4 nights a week. We assign mentors to them. We discovered that Prison Fellowship did a 30-year study where they said nothing reduces recidivism more than when a mentor or a man of God comes alongside of one of these returning citizens to help them reintegrate back into society. So we're real proud of that part of our program. But then it was after approximately 10 years of running the aftercare home and just volunteering at the jail that we were asked to come and be chaplains of the jail, and then asked if our ministry, Gateway to Glory, would take over for which was what they call the Macomb County Jail Ministry Board. They had been doing it for about 13 years, felt like they were getting a little burnout, and said we'd really like to pass the baton to you guys, and we gratefully accepted. And I can't tell you the just countless stories of men. And we do have a woman's house now too that we just opened last year. But the stories of the men that have got their children back, reunited with their children, and reunited back into society, and just doing excellent now. And we're glad to be here today to present the ministry to you. I'll turn it over to my wife now, but thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Again, you know, I just want to thank you all for taking the time out to hear us out. But he did say a lot about the men. I'm the woman's side of it. We do have a woman's house that just opened in September. Very excited about that. The women that we have are doing very, very well. They almost become like your daughters, and you know, most of the addicts and so forth that we minister to, they are at that age. You know, normally they say that when you start using, that's when you stop growing. So a lot of these are kind of like having teenagers running around the house. That's probably why we look tired. But we like to see that they're growing. You know, we do teach biblical principles, which, you know, anybody who has any biblical knowledge, they would know that the Bible has good morals. And so these people, you know, all of our residents are learning good morals, a good proper way to live, you know, to walk uprightly. You know, obviously the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery, you know, those sorts of things kind of lead to a good life, you know. So we really incorporate that. But you know, our main focus is just to restore men and women to their families, restore them back to their communities, you know, get them reconciled and to be upstanding right citizens. And we know from our own background that sometimes people need a hand up. You know, we're not giving handouts by any stretch of the imaginations. But if we can come alongside these people and just help them and let them know somebody's in your corner, you know, we got you covered in prayer, and get them involved in a local church community, we have seen that it has just done remarkable things in these people's lives as well as ours. You know, we're living proof. So we're willing to take questions if that's the venue.
Thank you. Commissioners, are there any questions? Any comments? Commissioner Leonetti?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. It's good to see you folks again, and it's really neat to hear a little bit more detail about what you're doing. It's always very important that, you know, we always seek to punish, but we really seek to rehabilitate. Right. And it's an excellent to see that you've expanded what you've done. And you know, I always believe, and you guys are living proof of it. I appreciate your honesty and candor about what you went through personally, because really, a true measure of a person's worth, man or woman, is how far they can get up after they've fallen.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's easy to start off at third base and say you hit a triple, right? But when you're down at first base and you got to work your way up back to third, it's a true measure of a person's success. And it's great that you folks have personally experienced that, and it's great that you're giving other people who come out of the jail a chance to do that as well. So thank you. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Brown?
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming, and thank you for the work you do, because, you know, we in government haven't done such a good job of rehabilitating people coming out of jails, and we need all the help we can get. And taking a page from the ministries that you provide and others are important. Are you familiar with the Crossroads Ministries? They're ministry here.
Is that the one that provides Bible studies and so forth?
Chaplin
Yes.
Russ?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Matter of fact, we helped them get started.
You did. You're the one. Okay. You two are the ones, rather. You know, interesting. There's a lot of similar organizations across the country. Are there common themes? I mean, does each ministry follow a common set of theme organizationally? I mean, how does it? I mean, the basics is the Bible, of course, but is there an organizational theme? And what are your challenges that we could do to help, or generally speaking, government might be able to do to help you establish what you do easier? It's a loaded question, I guess. But
This is kind of a touchy subject.
well, we're a politically free zone here. So you just go right ahead. Politically incorrect zone.
That's a good thing, because that's where I'm at. The separation of church and state. We find that a lot of judges and so forth. We have met with some judges, and they say, well, I can't sentence someone to your program because it's faith-based. We accept anybody, you know, within certain guidelines, obviously, but, you know, again, when it comes down to biblical morals, I don't think that there's anybody here who can say that the Bible has really bad morals. You know, so that's kind of where we're coming from, is a discipleship program, and to let them know that, you know, again, that somebody's in their corner, and you've got prayer support, you've got a community of people who are just basically, you know, living by the Bible. And so if, you know, if there were a way that we could maybe get in front of judges and let them know that, you know, yes, it is faith-based, but we accept anybody, with the hopes that, you know, obviously in turn they will up their spiritual journey, or be willing to take that spiritual journey, you know, and find out where it leads them. Obviously, we're Christ believers. You know, we would like them to, you know, start believing in Christ, but we're not going to push that on anybody.
How do you track people that have come through your program and see where they're at after a period of years? Because it's important to, you know, to know
Yeah.
the effectiveness of a program. We try to do that here, and
Yeah, we keep pretty good track. You know, it's kind of up to them to stay in touch with us, but, you know, we do a lot of follow-up just to see where they're at. Matter of fact, I was just with one of our guys from that we had a couple years ago, who's a mechanic now and doing real good. He's living with his mom. But, you know, he calls from time to time to, hey, you know, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for what you did when I was at your program. Yeah, so not everyone, though. You know, it's tough to be, people move on, move out of state, and
Sure.
And we do operate pretty much on a shoestring budget. You know, we're as I mentioned before, we're operating all on donations. So, you know, to have somebody following these people around, you know, it's just not feasible.
Well, our court has been done innovative things with the drug court, veterans courts, specialty courts for businesses even, and so forth like that. So they'd be interested in that. Think about opportunities that we might be able to connect you with them and in a certain way. And Judge Burnett, Chief Judge Burnett, you know, I mean, we'll see. Anyway, thank you
Yeah,
for
we're-
coming. We
we're-
appreciate it, and continue to, good luck, and you'll be successful because you got the right plan behind you, so you're all set.
And we have worked with Drug Court and Harbor Light, the Salvation Army. They
They're
call
with
us from
us.
time to time to place people in our program. But, you know, here's an interesting statistic. They say right now it's costing $30,000+ a year to house one inmate. Last year, the United States spent $52 billion locking people up. We're housing approximately 12 now for around $28,000 a year. You know, so, you know, the savings is incredible for the taxpayer. We're making for safer communities.
Do you have any on tethers?
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
have.
Matter of fact, we baptized a guy last year that had 2 tethers on. It was pretty interesting. Had the ministers keeping both of his feet out of the water as we baptized him.
Yeah, imagine.
We
Yeah,
told
funny.
the ministers, you are the official tether baptizers now.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
you.
Chairwoman.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, thank you so much for coming back. It was good to
Thank
see
you for
both
the
of you again.
invitation.
Okay, yes,
Thank you. Item number 7 is is there a motion to receive and file? Moved by Carabelli, supported by Brown. All those in favor? I suppose all those opposed as well on your iPad. Thank you. Item number 7, department recommendations. We have a contract from, for law enforcement services for Macomb Township. Captain Roberts, are you here on that one?
Sure. So we have the contract amendment and then the corresponding budget amendment that would go along with that. So Macomb Township has been speaking with the sheriff, and they expressed that they desire to raise the amount of police presence and service that they were providing for their citizens of the township. So speaking with the sheriff, they had come to the decision that they would like to add 8 deputy positions to the current contract, which the current contract is for the period of 2016 through 2018. So the amendment portion of it is going to be for the remainder of 2017 and then for all of 2018 that they did pass through their township board to add the 8 deputies. And so that's what this amendment is for currently. The costs are computed based on the current contract, which finance has set up for the remainder of this year and for next year, which has a built-in raise between the 2 years in the cost factor. And then when the next year will be working with finance to redo all of the contracts that we have for police services. But this one here, it would be actually effective as soon as we all come to an agreement that's passed here, and then that we put in place for the deputies to begin to be put into service out at the township, that we'd be working with them on that portion of it. The billings would take effect once we started assigning the deputies out to the area. The figures are from finance that are included in the resolution for the budget amendment. I think that it covers all the areas that might be in question. So other than that, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
A and B. And the first on the list is Commissioner Carabelli.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Captain, thank you.
I see they included the budget line items and how it's broken out in our package for us. And we had asked a few years back, I believe it's included in the wages and benefits. They were supposed to break out, I thought, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, the retirement to make sure that it was shown in there as a line item, that it was being covered under that contract. That's so much, maybe not your part of the contract, but maybe more finance. But I think it's important that we have that in there as it was requested, showing that it did cover the retirement of those officers while prorated at that. Does anybody remember that conversation?
I do.
So, is that you to ask for that request of finance?
Well, I believe in the portion that's for the budget amendment, it might be broken down into that in the resolution for the budget amendment to show that for this. They, when they come up with their calculations and the formulations, they normally have not included that total formulation into the contract itself. They've given the townships, the city, villages, you know, the total price that they come up with. I mean, the townships, the village, cities know that they're covering those costs, but they have not given that breakdown out to them.
Yes.
Included in the actual contract.
And Madam Chair, I have no issue of not sharing that information out, but for our line item budget for when we do this, I thought we were having that in there.
Yeah, if in the recommendation for the resolution for the budget amendment, it has a breakdown, and one of the items that's included is the pension retiree health care. It shows the total amount of this budget amendment that is going towards that category.
Yes.
In this case, 91,000 of the budget amendment.
Correct, Madam Chair. And you're correct, and I know that you guys put it in there. My thing is that your actual budget line for the positions, I'm guessing, came right out of our budget for Macomb Township. It'll list it out. It doesn't break that line item out separately.
And if you're looking at that amendment A, or the attachment A,
Page 11 on my.
Look at page 16.
Yeah, 16 mentions it. I'm talking about the actual, like, page 15, or you can go.
if you're looking at this one here, it's attachment A. This is the attachment to the contract at the top where it shows the number of deputies, number of lieutenant, sergeant.
Yes.
That portion there. That's what's presented to the township for their documenting of and approval of the contracts.
Okay, I apologize. All good. I just, again, I thought it was a copy of our budget that they were providing. With that said, I still haven't seen that line item for that, and we had requested that on our end of the budget.
Within the sheriff's budget, we do have a separate fund org for each of for Macomb Township, Washington Township. Within that, it lists each of the categories that you're talking about as far as wages, overtime, pension, retiree health care, dental. That all is within the sheriff's budget. It's one of the fund orgs. So for each of our contract areas, that's in there that covers the personnel that are carried under that org.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Drollet?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just would like to express my appreciation for both the the terrific service that your department provides to Macomb Township and the value it provides to that. I mean, I think the citizens of Macomb Township have been getting an outstanding value and high quality service, and I really think that other communities, some of them out there in the greater Metro Detroit area, should be jealous that that Macomb Township has such terrific law enforcement personnel at such a really good value. So thank you.
Well, thank you. That's what each of the people that are working out there, their goal is as well, providing that great service.
Are you done? Commissioner Lucido?
Right.
I always forget that. I just wanted to reiterate that the total costs are covered by the township, and this isn't impacting the county.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Thank you.
Chair Smith?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Captain, for coming out. Does this 8 per deputy increase correlate also to an 8 more deputies being hired? Is that what we have to do, or do you, or did you have them kind of overlapping in some areas and we could, I mean, I thought you're kind of stretched thin, so are we hiring 8 more deputies based on this? Good.
Yes. We do not have any extra ones, but yes, this is resulting in the complement of deputies is being increased by the 8.
Okay, great, thank you.
Commissioner Dujay?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Captain, well done, nice job. You guys do a terrific job, and I agree with Commissioner Drollet.
Thank you.
The only question I have, the dispatchers, are they at Comtech, or where are they located physically?
Yes, they're with the dispatch center. We have various funding sources for the ones that we have, but they are all within the dispatch center.
Okay, so that's all centralized and localized.
Yes.
All right, that was my only question. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Brown?
Thank you. Getting back to the chair's comments about you have to hire 8 more deputies.
Yes.
So this isn't going to take effect until they're hired?
Well,
Or you're going to be
I
using
probably
overtime?
should say the technical term. We're not hiring any more deputies because we don't hire straight out for deputies. So we are promoting 8 more personnel to positions. So we are adding 8 deputy positions.
Out of the jail.
It results in dispatch. The two, they come from the corrections deputies in the jail or dispatchers get promoted to the deputy positions. So it is going to result in 8 more people being hired. But there'll be like 8 corrections deputies or dispatchers that are actually getting hired as 8 people get promoted to fill the new deputy positions. And we are going to be filling it in a step fashion as we have the personnel. We have a number of them that are in their training, their field training officer portion right now. So once they're completing off that, we will start deploying them out to Macomb. And the billing with that, working with finance, is going to be working along with how many we send out there. But in a short period of time, we will have all 8 of them out there.
In what period of time is that? Short? What's short?
I would say within a couple of months.
And when's the contract going into effect?
Well, it'll be in effect once.
But they're going to phase it in. They're going to feather in. You're going to start building the township as they roll in.
Yes. I mean, it'll be effective as you approve it and it gets formalized, then we'll get it signed. At that point, and we'll start doing the deployment plans. And we would probably, it looks like we will be sending out initial ones sometime in August. And then the hope is that the remainder would go out in September.
So the other side is how confident are you going to be able to get replacements for the positions
Well, I know we had spoken.
We've had a discussion
Yes.
previously about the Civil Service Commission
Yep.
and the issues that they're having and
So I'll mention, since it does relate to this, so they have been working very well with us, Civil Service, as well as the Personnel Our Department, doing background investigations, interviews, all that type of thing as part of the process of hiring. But Civil Service has started sending applications through to us as they get them, as opposed to pooling them up until there's a number of them and sending them forward or waiting to approve them at one of their meetings. They are just sending them forward to us, which gives us a jump on starting to go through the applications. We've taken a number of steps to get recruiting opportunities out there, to be appearing at job fairs, appearing at other areas to show the opportunities that the county and the sheriff's office have for people. And we've been working with HR to try to see that we can't get some additional positive points to put out there that we have to offer against all the other employers that are trying to hire, the best people as well. So far, we're seeing an uptick in the amount of the applications that are coming in, so we feel that that's a positive step. And the sheriff is taking some some more large steps to try to greatly increase that recruiting, word getting out, and the ability to reach more of the target audience, age-wise, area-wise, to try to get a more positive return on the recruiting advertising to get more of the right people in here for the job.
Is one of those strategies to allow them to work part-time in other communities and other departments? Allowing your sworn deputies to work part-time in
Well, we
other
don't have our
communities?
sworn deputies are not able to, but our corrections deputies and dispatchers that have gone through the academy or are certifiable have been able to work part-time, as long as the Macomb County and the Sheriff's Office are first, and then the outside one is secondary. But once they're sworn in as a deputy sheriff, then basically this is their, they
Well,
can't
once
work for another law enforcement agency.
Well, why not, is my
Well-
question. Why? I know it's contractual, but
Well, there are issues
policy-wise,
with MCOs as well, as far as being with, I mean, we have additional things that we do, such as Freedom Hill or event organizations that try to hire security for their events within the community. Those are filled by deputy sheriff positions. The places pay the county for those services, and the money comes through the county to the employee as overtime that they're working. So they are working other events, but not for another department.
all right. I think that's something, all right, thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair, appreciate it.
Commissioner Sauger?
Thanks, Captain. What he said is what I've been talking about for about a month or 2 months. We've got to increase the benefits and the pay to get more applicants. And am I correct, Captain?
I would never argue with you, Commissioner.
Like a comment Commissioner Brown is, fortunately, you got the deputies working at the rate of fear up there, because they keep things under control for many, many years. Thank God it's them and not a private guard service. Thank you.
Commissioner Myjack?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to echo what Commissioner Sauger said, I agree with what you said, Commissioner. And I think the problem there is, when we had the budget crisis, they didn't have raises for 6 years. Is that right?
It's probably like 9.
9 years, thank you, not 6 years, 9 years. So you had that, what happened, and then the second thing is the unions agreed to change the retirement system. So a lot of things have changed, and if you want to do what you want to do, Commissioner Sauger, increase the pay and benefits for the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff's Department makes up a large portion of the county budget. We got to find out where that money's going to come from. I mean, it's there's
I always said that because the applicants are down compared to what they used to be.
Right.
We got to all work together on this.
I agree with
Not
you.
just me, but everybody.
I agree with you, and I would also echo that not just the benefits and pay are not the best for the Sheriff's Department, but other parts of the county as well. So just something to think about, Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Myjack. Are there any other speakers? Moved by Drollet. Is there support? Supported by Lucido. Michael? That's just for A, I'm sorry. We did that go through? That unanimously passed. Now to 7B, which is the budget amendment portion, moved by Commissioner Drollet, supported by Commissioner Kleinfeld. That has unanimously passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 8 is new business. Is there any new business for the committee? Seeing none, we'll move to public participation. Any members of the public wish to address the committee? Mr. Kuzmani, you have 5 minutes.
I'll take less than 5 minutes.
Okay.
Good morning or afternoon, everyone. I'm Frank Kuzmano. I'm a citizen of Macomb Township. I just wanted, when I looked at the agenda, it's final agenda item 3A said that there's the adoption of the agenda dated July 7th, 2017. I believe that's a typographical error. It was for July.
We've corrected
13th.
that.
You
Thank you.
corrected it? I didn't. It wasn't on the copy. Thank you. I'm a trustee at Macomb Community College, formerly with Commissioner Lucido, and I want to just tell the commission that the Public Service Academy is graduating. I attend most of those graduations, and I always keep track of how many of the cadets graduating are placed. We did have quite a few that were placed, but there was many that were not. So before the commission considers increasing pay and benefits, I suggest that perhaps the county should HRLR, or the Civil Service Commission rather, should make some inquiries as to the graduate pool that exists for the Public Service Academy at Macomb Community College. And anyone who's viewing this, who's interested in a law enforcement career, I would strongly recommend that they consider Macomb Community College as the place to obtain that certification. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public who wish to address the committee? Seeing none, we'll close public participation, and Commissioner Douget has a motion to adjourn. Is it supported? Supported by Commissioner Romano. Thank you. We're adjourned. Brown, you wanna-
We already have 12 to nothing at this point. Have a good weekend, folks. Good week, Bobby.